and separate us from God's love.
That's intense.
And so, whenever we think about it, whenever we compare this to those kids worrying about all the work they've done all day, how many of you guys worry?
I worry a lot.
So, some of the people in the back don't worry. You never worry, Bree? It's just because it's your birthday, I'll let that slide. Hey, that's a nice hand raising up, Bree. I like that. That it? So because we worry, that's why these things have been given to us. That's why God sent His Son Jesus to die for us, because we worry. So we won't have to worry.
But we still do. Yay.
But we still do. But why?
Because we're stupid. Yeah.
Can you say that again, please, loud, so everyone can hear?
Because we're stupid.
Why do we worry? Andrea says because we're stupid.
Because we're selfish human beings.
But even though we are human and we can't fathom the thing that God has for us, we can't fathom the love that He has for us. How many of you guys know how far the universe is?
Very, very far.
Really? Can you calculate it? Ryan, can you calculate that?
3.5 megahertz.
Megahertz?
Really? Is
So-
that
So it's unfathomable, it's unimaginable, it's unthinkable.
That's how big the universe
It's
So
cool.
how's it Google?
Google it, what?
Google is like an infinite number.
So,
Billion miles to like the 20th power.
and then it stops.
3.5
The universe
gigawatts.
just stops.
Yeah, so keep going.
But that's what I'm saying. Some would say, all right guys, let's calm down a little bit. Some would say, this love that He has is infinite. And it's true. Nothing, guys, nothing that we do can separate us from the love that God has for us. I'm going to continue reading in another part of the Bible. It's still going to be in Romans. And it jumps a little bit back. And I know a lot of us worry about some of the decisions we make, and a lot of us worry about, if we're forgivable. And the answer is yes. No matter what you've done, no matter what you're going to do in the future, there could be a serial killer in here. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, Cassie, you could go.
I'm not a serial killer.
It's because she pointed you out. She already invited you out. So I'm just saying, no matter what happens, it's forgivable, guys. Listen, even when we don't make the best decisions, we can be confident. And you guys hear this part, okay? Otherwise, I will be talking about this again next week. And I might even be talking about it because there might be someone here who needs to hear it. Even when we don't make the best decisions, we can be confident that God works out all things, not just isolated incidents. I need someone to read Romans 8:28.
Oh, I just closed it.
Who has that? All right, JD, go ahead. Read it loud so everyone can hear it.
Romans what?
Okay. And we know that in all things
God causes everything to work together for those who love God. He causes everything to work together for good for those who love God and are called according to His purpose for them. How many of you guys love God?
Me.
Okay? Then through that, because you guys love God, anything that happens can be used for good in your life. Okay? Whether you were a serial killer, whether you got busted, put in jail. Sorry, I can't say. The serial killer thing. I don't know if you've been in jail or not.
I've never been to jail.
You haven't?
No?
Okay, wait. All right, before we get off track, no matter what's happened, no matter what's going to happen, the decisions we make obviously will affect us. But if you're called according to God's purpose and you love God, like the Bible says right there in 8:28, God can use it for good. Jacob, just a yes or no, does everyone in here pretty much know what happened to you? Huh? No? Okay. Can I use you as an example? So, I won't give them the major details, but Jacob, a while back, ended up in jail. Okay, he was going down the wrong path, doing the wrong thing, making decisions that shouldn't be made. Let me go ahead and finish reading this about decisions, and then I'll continue on what I'm going to say about Jacob. Even when we don't make the best decisions, we can be confident that God works out all things, not just isolated incidents, for our good. This does not mean that all things that happen to us are good, nor does it mean that the consequences of poor decisions will not come back to haunt us. Evil is prevalent in our fallen world, but God is able to turn it around for our benefit in the long run. This isn't part of the Bible. This isn't in the Bible. This is just a side note that someone wrote.
You drink that one.
It says, no, listen to this, that God is not working to make us happy, but to fulfill His purposes. Note also that this promise is not for everybody. It can be claimed only by those people who love God and who are fitting into His plans. Such people have a new perspective on life. They look to God for their security. They also learn to accept rather than resent pain and persecution on earth because it brings them closer to God. We usually think of God giving us the most help when we are in the process of making a decision. But could it be that God actually reserves most of His input for later on? As the decision works itself out, might this be a more powerful way for us to rely on Him? Going back to Jacob made some decisions.
Decisions?
Jacob made.
You're on a roll today, Brendan.
I'm waiting for the drool to start coming out. Jacob made some decisions in his past that weren't so good, and they ended him up in trouble. And so, after about $1 million worth of collect calls, he started doing better, and he started at first he joined a prayer group, in jail with a bunch of other inmates, and, just a bunch of dudes praying for each other, which is cool, and it kind of made me think, okay, well, that's cool, he's in a prayer group, he needs prayer, I just hope he sticks with it. And he ended up getting transferred to another facility, and to my knowledge, there wasn't a prayer group there, right? And so, if I remember right, he kind of asked me, well, there's not a prayer group here, and so, I'm not taking credit for it, but I'm sure he had the idea, but I kind of nudged him on the idea. We'll start one. Don't be afraid to let other people see you pray. How many guys are afraid to let other people see you pray sometimes? Des, I'm going to use you as an example now, because in high school, you didn't care what anybody thought whenever you found out. Because every day at lunch, you'd be by yourself or with your friends. I'm not saying Lower there. I meant by yourself in a sense that the whole table didn't join in your prayer. Am I right? Yeah. But even sometimes at camp or at Taco Bell or whenever we'd be hanging out as a youth group, we'd notice that, before everyone else would pray or eat, Des would just jump right in. We wouldn't, like today, sometimes we'll all, say, okay guys, let's pray, let's get started. And then, it didn't used to be like that. Des would just, take initiative and start a prayer and finish up. And so Jacob did the same thing whenever he was he took the initiative and he started a prayer group. And I can't remember the numbers, but it started out something small, just him and a couple guys. And then within a couple days, it jumped from a couple guys to how many? Like 18 people, And it's just amazing because I guarantee you, if Jacob wouldn't have been there to start that prayer group, God, I'm not going to lie, God could have used someone else, But some of those people that were in there at that time needed to hear that, you know, and they needed to have someone pray for them. And I don't know any of those other people, and I don't know where their lives are, but Jacob has come out, you know, as a different man. You know, not making some of the same mistakes he made in the past. You know, don't get me wrong, he's my little brother, he still makes mistakes, but so do I. But just know that the mistakes we've made don't have to be a burden to you guys. They don't have to be something that holds you down, holds you back. There's something that if you are a child of God and you love God, then those mistakes you've made can be used to help somebody else. Those mistakes you've made, those decisions you made. I'm saying mistakes, and I'm using that term very loosely, because not every decision we made is a mistake. Although we feel like whatever about it. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. Let's, I just want you to know the decisions you make, they are crucial, guys. Seriously crucial. Every decision you make affects you and affects people around you. And whether you guys are making good or bad decisions, you guys let your heart decide. You know what you're doing. And I'm not saying I want you guys to come tell me all your problems, but I'm here for you if you need to talk. But just know not to worry too much about those decisions you've made in the past. Not to worry about the decisions that you've made recently or the decision that you're going to make tomorrow. Don't worry about it, because you're going to be taken care of. Even if you make the wrong decisions, even if you make the decisions you think are right, God can turn it around, and it can be used for good. So, just, you guys, I don't want to say keep living how you're living, but keep living for God. And if you guys are living for God, truly living for God,
Right on.
and that's what you want to do, then the